That yearly experience had a lasting impact. There is a real satisfaction in building something with a purpose that solves a problem. The software I wrote right now meets more significant needs than my childhood efforts did, but the sense of satisfaction I get from creating a program that works is still largely the same. Who is this book for? Who is this book for? The goal of this book is to bring you up to speed with Python as quickly as possible so you can build programs that work, games, data visualizations, web applications without a foundation in programming that will serve you well for the rest of your life. Python crash course is written for people of any age who have never programmed in Python or have never programmed at all. This book is for those who want to learn the basics of programming quickly so they can focus on interesting projects and those who like to test their understanding of new concepts by solving meaningful problems. Python crash course is also perfect for teachers at all levels who want to offer their students a project-based introduction to programming. If you are taking a college class and want a friendlier introduction to Python, then the text you have been assigned this can make your class easier as well. If you are looking to change careers, Python class course can help you make the transition into a more satisfying career track. It has worked well for a wide variety of readers with a broad range of goals. Broad range of goals. What can you expect to learn? The purpose of this book is to make you a good programmer in general and a good Python programmer in particular. You will learn efficiently about good habits as you gain a solid foundation in general programming concepts. After working your way through Python crash course, you should be ready to move on to more advanced Python techniques, and your next programming language will be even easier to grasp. In part one of this book, you will learn basic programming concepts you need to know to write Python programs. These concepts are the same as those you learned when starting out in almost any programming language. You will learn about different kinds of data and the ways you can store data in your programs. You will build collections of data such as lists, dictionaries, and will work through those collections in efficient ways. You will learn to use while loops and if statements to test for certain conditions, so you can run specific sections of code while those conditions are true and run other sections when they are not yet. That helps you automate many processes. You will learn to accept the input from users to make your program interactive and to keep your programs running as long as the user wants. You will explore how to write functions that make parts of your program reusable. So you only have to write block of code that perform certain actions one while using that code as many times as you need. You will then extend this concept to more complicated behavior with the classes, making fairly simple programs respond to a variety of situations. You will learn to write programs that handle common errors gracefully. After working through each of these basic concepts, you will write a number of increasingly complex programs using what you have learned. Finally, you will take your first step toward intermediate programming by learning how to write tests for your course, and so you can develop your programs further without worrying about introducing bugs. All the information department will prepare you for taking on larger, more complex projects. In part two, you will apply what you learned in part one to three projects. You can do any or all of these projects in whichever order works best for you. In the first project, in chapter 12 to 14, you will create a space invader style shooting game called Alien Invasion, which includes several increasingly difficult levels of gameplay. After you have completed this project, you should be well on your way to being able to develop your own 2D games. Even if you don't aspire to become a game programmer, working through this project is an enjoyable way to tie together much of what you will learn in part 1. The second project in chapters 15 to 17 introduces you to desktop visualization. Data scientists use a variety of visualization techniques to make sense of the vast amount of information available to them. You work with datasets that you generate through code, datasets that you download from online sources, and datasets your programs download automatically. After you have completed this project, you will be able to write programs that sift through large data sets and make visual representations of many different kinds of information. In the third project in chapter 18 to 20, you will build a small web application called Learning Log. This project allows you to keep an organized journal of information you have learned about a specific topic. You will be able to keep separate logs for different topics and allow others to create an account and start their own journals. You will also learn how to deploy your project so anyone can access it online from anywhere in the world. Online resources. Most arts press has more information about this book available online at nostarts.com plus Python crash course and edition. I also maintain an extensive set of supplementary resources at ehmatheis.github.io slash pcc underscore 3p. These resources include the following setup instructions online or identical to what's in the book, but they include active links. You can click for all the different steps if you are having any setup issues. Refer to this resource. Updates Python all languages is constantly evolving. I maintain a thorough set of updates. So if anything is not working, check here to see whether the instructions have changed. Solution exercises you should spend significant time on your own attempting the exercises in the try it yourself section. However, if you are stuck and cannot make any progress solutions to most of the exercises are online cheat sheets. I have full set of downloadable cheat sheets for quick reference to major concepts is also online. While Python, every year I consider whether to continue using Python or move on to a different language, perhaps one that's newer to the programming world. I continue to focus on Python for many reasons. Python is an incredibly efficient language where programs will do more in fewer lines of code than many other languages would require. Python syntax will also help you write clean code. Your code will be easier to read, easier to debug, easier to extend, build upon compared to other languages. People use Python for many purposes to make games, build applications, solve business problems, and develop internal tools at all kinds of interesting companies. Python is also used heavily in scientific fields for academic research and applied work. One of the most important reasons I continue to use Python is because of the Python community, which includes an incredibly diverse and welcoming group of people. Community is essential to programming because programming is not a solitary pursuit. Most of us, even the most experienced programmers, need to ask advice from others who have already solved similar problems. Having a well-connected and supportive community is critical to helping you solve problems, and the Python community is fully supportive of people who are learning Python as their first programming language or coming to Python with a background in other languages. Python is a great language to learn. So let's get started. Part 1 Basics. Part 1 of this book teaches you the basic concepts you will learn to. You will need to write Python programs. Many of these concepts are common to all programming languages, so they will be useful throughout your life as a programmer. In Chapter 1, you will install Python on your computer and run your first program experience and upload to the screen. In Chapter 2, you will learn to assign information to variables and work with the text and numerical values. In Chapter 3 and 4, introduce list can store as much information as you want in one place, allowing you to work with that data efficiently. You will be able to work with hundreds, thousands, and even millions of values in just a few lines of code. In Chapter 5, you will use if statements to write code that responds one way if certain conditions are true and responds in a different way if those conditions are not true. Chapter 6 shows you how to use Python's dictionaries, which let you make connections between different pieces of information, like list dictionaries can contain as much information as you need to store. In Chapter 7, you will learn how to accept input from users to make your programs interactive. You will also learn about while loops, which run blocks of code repeatedly as long as certain condition remains true. In Chapter 8, you will write functions which are named blocks of code that perform a specific task and can be run whenever you need them. In Chapter 9, we introduces classes which allow you to model real-world objects. You will write code that represent dogs, cats, people's cars, rockets, and more. In Chapter 10 shows you how to work with files, handle errors, so your programs won't crash unexpectedly. You will store the data before your program process and read the data back in when the program runs again. You will learn about Python's exceptions, which allow you to anticipate errors and make your programs handle those errors gracefully. In Chapter 11, you will learn to write tests for your code to check that your programs work the way you intend them to. As a result, you will be able to expand your programs without worrying about introducing new bugs. Testing your code is one of the first skills that will help you transition from beginner to intermediate programmer. Getting started. In this chapter, you will learn your first Python program. Hello world, not PY. First, you will need to check whether a recent version of Python is installed or not. If it is not, if it isn't, you will install it. You will also install a text editor to work with your program. Python program. Text editors recognize Python code and highlight segments as you write, making it easier to understand your code structures. Setting up your programming environment. Python differs slightly on different operating systems, so you will need to keep a few considerations in mind. In the following section, we will make sure Python is set up correctly on your system. Python versions. Every programming language evolves as new ideas and technologies emerge, and the developers of Python have continually made the language more versatile and powerful. As of deciding, the latest version is 3.7, but everything in this book should run on Python 3.9 or later. In this section, we will find out if Python is already installed on the system, whether you need to install any other version. Appendix A contains additional details about installing the latest version of Python on each major operating system as well. Any sequence of Python code you can run Python's interpreter in a terminal window, allowing you to try mix of Python code without having to save and run an entire program. Throughout this book, you will see code snippets that look like this: print hello Python interpreter, print hello Python interpreter will be printed. The three angle brackets prompt, which we will to refer as a Python prompt, indicates that you should be using the terminal window indicate that you should be using the terminal window. The bold text is the code used. You should type in and then execute by pressing enter. Most of the examples in this book are small self-contained programs that you will run from your text editor rather than the terminal because you will write most of your code in the text editor, but sometimes basic concept will be shown in a series of snippets run through a Python terminal session to demonstrate particular concept more efficiently. When you see three angle brackets in a code listing, you are looking at code and output from a terminal session. We will try coding in the interpreter on your system in a moment. You can also use a text editor to create a simple program called Hello World that has become a staple of learning to program. That's a long-held tradition in the programming world that printing the message "Hello World" to the screen as your first program in a new language will bring you problem. Such a simple program serves a very real purpose. If it runs correctly on your system, then any Python program you write should work as well. About the VS Code is so powerful for professional quality text editor that's free and user-friendly. VS Code is great for both simple and complex projects. So if you become comfortable using it while learning Python, you can continue using it as you progress to larger and more complicated projects. VS Code can be installed on all modern operating system and it supports most programming languages including Python. Appendix B provides information on other text editors if you are curious about the other options. You might want to skim that appendix at this point. If you want to begin programming quickly, you can use VS Code to start. Then you can consider other editors once you have gained some experiences in programming. The chapter I will walk you through installing VS Code on your operating system. If you are already have a judgment should you know how to configure it to and Python programs, you are welcome to use the data administrator. Python on different operating system. Python is a platform from programming language, which means it runs on all the major operating systems. Any Python program you write should run on any modern computer that has Python installed. However, the methods for setting up Python on different operating system vary slightly. In this section, you will learn how to set up Python on your system. You will first check whether there is a version of Python is installed on your system and install it. If it's not, then you will install VS Code. These are the only two steps that are different for each operating system. In this section that follows, you will run hello.py and troubleshoot anything that doesn't work. I will walk you through this process for each operating system. So you will have a Python programming environment that you can rely on. Python on Windows. Windows doesn't usually come with Python, so you will probably need to install it and then install VS Code. Installing Python first check whether the Python is installed on your system and open a command window by entering command into the start menu and by clicking the command prompt tab in the terminal window. Enter Python in lowercase if you get a prompt. in response, Python is common in the system if you set and if you see an error message telling you Python is not request command, or if the Microsoft Store open, Python is not installed. Close the Microsoft Store if it opens. It's better to download the official installer than to use Microsoft versions. If Python is not installed on your system, if you see a version error earlier than Python, you need to download a Python installer for Windows. Go to python.org and go to the download link. You should see a button for downloading the latest version of Python. Click the button which should automatically start downloading the correct installer for your system. After you download the file and run the installer, make sure you don't select the option add Python to path. It will make it easier to configure your system correctly. Figure 1 so this option selected. C colon slash Python. If you don't see this output or see the more details of instructions in appendix A, enter the following line Python in your Python system. Print Python interpreter Python interpreter snippet of Python. Open a command to start Python to close the terminal plus control C and then enter or enter the command exit. You can download and install a Source code that can also have the complete okay. That is another program. The recent version of Python and Visual Studio are almost ready to run you on Python. Python program or any text editor. But before doing so, you need to install the Python extension for VS Code. Installing the Python extension for VS Code is different languages. Tutorial are most of it as a Python programmer. You need to install the Python extension. This extension are supposed for writing, editing, running Python programs. To install the Python extension, click the manage icon, which looks like a gear icon in the lower left corner of the VS Code app. The menu that appears, click extensions, enter Python in its search box and click the Python extensions. If you see more than one extension named Python, choose the one supported by Microsoft. Click install and installs any additional that your system needs to complete the installation. Please see a message that you only need to install Python. If you want to read and show, so you can ignore this message.
Mamma, tentiamo di ricapitolare. Okay. நான் கேட்டு பார்த்து எடுத்துட்டு வந்தா நாங்க வந்து 3 நாளா விடுங்க நாளைக்கு வருமானத்து போயிட்டேன்